This is Awesome Sauce. It was a great shot of my yard, but that's not what we're here for today. I have Timebomb's experimental mini Flamethrower prototype. Got it from that wonderful person for Secret Santa. And it is a strafer design, designed to be used with a primary, as opposed to his larger backpack design that eliminates the use of any other weapon. So it's a short burst, high output weapon. Very good at clearing rooms, I would presume, or just to eliminate a lot of enemies in brush. But let's give this thing a bit of a whirl. So for the first second and a half, you get a really good, powerful, decent distance burst. And once the air pressure goes down, I fill it to about 120 psi for a little bit of additional range and impact. Once that pressure drops below about 100, maybe 80 psi, you lose distance and rate of fire very, very quickly. So an important thing to note is that I'm having reliability issues with this. There's a piece of tape right there, as you can see, that covers about half of the mouth of the hopper tube, and that increases the reliability of the action itself. But the problem with that is that tape wears down over time and has to be replaced pretty frequently. It'll shear off of the rest of the tape that isn't covered, and then you have to replace it. And if you try to fire with that thing sheared off, you're going to get maybe 15 or so BBs before it just jams up and won't fire anymore. Other than that, this design is very simple. You've got a tube back here with a feed lip, you've got a trigger valve, and you've got a hopper and a barrel. It's a vortex feed, so the valve comes up at the bottom. You got about a Springer pistol barrel inside, suspended by some Raptor on paper. And the BBs feed in, get sucked up by the vortex, and then fire out the barrel. So if there's too many BBs coming in at once, it'll just jam up the whole system, and then nothing will happen. So that little piece of tape restricts the amount of BBs that come through, which will, when it works, it'll, lower your rate of fire, but drastically increases the reliability. Now I'm looking at ways to replace that with something a little more permanent. As you can see, the whole thing is unpainted, undecorated. I basically just got this. I'm looking at ways to improve the mechanism and just kind of make it as effective as physically possible. But other than that, it's working pretty good when it works. So I'm very excited at a chance when I can get to use this on the field. And until then, I'll keep updates with major improvements.